Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, with Family's Everything.
Until it's not. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Aunt. How happy are you that Beverly Hills is back?
Beverly Hills. I just have to say this.
Yes.
As most people know, Beverly Hills was on before New York. And New
Mm.
York used to be somewhat of a glamorous
Yeah,
a
glamorous is fair.
franchise.
Uh,
They were going to fashion
it
shows.
was. It used to be very New York, but to the sense that people were still naive about reality TV and how things don't always look good for their brand. So
They were going to the
brands,
Met. I mean,
yeah,
what's more, glamorous than the Met Gala and etc. And Beverly Hills, by far, no one can match their glamour.
no.
They are just, I mean,
Well,
it's
Salt Lake's
just,
close.
but they don't have that. They don't have the showbiz aspect where
Oh yeah,
everybody on this is an actress or an actor, and they're all dramatic. And if they're not an actor, they want to be an actor. And even Kathy Hilton, she's not an actress, but she plays one on TV.
exactly.
I mean, I don't think she's ever had a role.
No.
Right. Well, she plays one. She has her act is the act that she has on TV
Oh yes.
because that's an act.
Yeah.
That's not. I never seen such a crazy lady in my life. How old is Kathy Hilton? I need
70.
to know. 70?
No, maybe
No.
60, 65.
What's her name's about 40? Paris. Let's see. I'm very
65.
Oh,
65.
she's 65? Well,
Yep.
she seems older than 65 to me.
Oh yeah, she's a little aloof.
Yeah, a little.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, we're going to start with the very, very beginning because only in Beverly Hills would just one alimony payment, just 1 month's alimony get you a Bentley.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
when she came in her Bentley Sutton opening scene, I thought, okay, that's just 1 month.
Exactly. There
That's
you
it.
go.
Just 1 month. Is where do we start?
I know.
I guess Dorit, because it's really all about Dorit so far.
She's doing great. I'm happy for her. It took enough seasons for her to start to actually bring something to the table.
Okay, so
The cigarette got me. Woo!
I mean, it was almost the most iconic scene of it was so.
It
If she had a
restored my faith in the
convertible,
Housewives.
yes, and it was almost. I almost wish that she was in a convertible Bentley with in the south of France with her hair in a kerchief. A
No.
handkerchief? No, no, no. But that's what it was almost like. It was pure on like,
No, no,
and
no.
they,
But it wasn't meant she wasn't trying to look chic.
no, but she was. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
she
she
could have
was.
easily been transformed into the south of France and a convertible going down the hill that Princess Grace died. I'm just saying, smoking that cigarette. It was
Okay.
iconic. She's
Yeah.
the only one that, because Andy asked her about it afterwards on Watch What Happens
Oh
Live.
yeah.
And he goes, "What did you think of them getting you smoking?" And she
Oh
goes,
yeah.
"Well, it was the first time they've got me smoking on
Yeah.
TV."
She didn't have an accent on Watch What Happens Live.
I don't know.
She
Maybe
dropped
because
the
she's
accent when she dropped
Drop
PK.
PK. Oh, I want everybody to know.
You flipped it around. You get it now. You understand what I meant.
I do.
Does it make sense to you now too? It's how you don't lose the straw. It's like really good. It's
I want you to know that I fixed the story he's been on me about.
amazing.
Now, Jennifer Tilly.
Fine.
Yeah, I
Good.
mean, she's sort of normal for a housewife. I mean,
She's
even she's
quirky.
actually
She's
normal for
fun.
Beverly Hills. I enjoy her.
She's
And
actually a friend of Sutton's, so it makes sense. Like a lot, it makes sense, right?
all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Let's not get to the new girl quite yet, because we've got stuff before that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So, Dorit, let's just get to it.
yeah,
Dorit and PK.
yeah. I mean, what
Okay,
else is
they
there to say?
separated.
Yeah, and
There's a lot to say. No, there's a lot to
it
say.
makes so much sense to me.
Well, I wanted to ask you if people do know, Andrew is sober,
Hmm.
and Andrew also has a tendency to cry very easily.
all the time.
And when Dorit was like, we're filing, we're filing. Now, this was the funny thing. She's with Erica at that fancy store to buy knickknacks, for
Yeah,
$800 that you could get the replica of at TJX. And I'm
exactly.
thinking, Erica, just go to TJX. You're in that little casita now too, kind of like Gina.
Ah,
And Erica wouldn't sit down because of her spray tan, and she was afraid it was going to ruin
yeah,
the furniture. The funny part is she left Dorit and went to Kyle's,
I
and she
know.
sat right down.
Oh, that's
In
true.
other words, I don't
Well,
really
maybe she
care
had
about.
just got a spray tan. I
No,
don't know.
it was in the same, she was in the same outfit. It was the same
Yeah,
day.
but
She
maybe it was
went from
dry.
one to the
Maybe she
other.
felt that way.
I just thought it was kind of comical that she cared about the shop, but she didn't care about Kyle.
She
I
maybe
just
said
thought
it
it
to
was funny.
Kyle and they didn't put it in. And she said, I don't want to sit down. I just got a spray tan. And maybe Kyle was like, whatever, who cares?
Well, I'm just telling you. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, we keeping you?
No, I didn't have. I told you I gave up
I know. I'm
soda in
proud
the
of you.
afternoon.
You're doing fine, sweetie. Keep going.
It's
Okay.
so hard. You don't have any idea. So Dorit is just, well, he's an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic. We've divorced. We're separated. We're going to be the best case scenario. We are going to be best friends forever. No, you're going to end up to hate each other passionately, but no emotion, complete control. And then we go to PK. Oh, mate. Mate. Mate.
Well, okay, wait.
He was
We
a
don't
blubbering
know. We
fool.
don't know. We know that PK and Mauricio's scene was the day that they made the public announcement.
Yes.
We also have to remember that, like, I think that Dorit is used to manipulating what viewers think.
Oh, without a doubt.
PK is,
Hmm.
but there's level of truth with being sober that like you kind of take the mask off. And so,
Yes, but he was crying, and I thought of you crying all the
yeah,
time in the beginning.
but I
Every
don't
day you
cry like
cried.
that. I never
Yeah, but
cried like I had my
but
own I cried to myself. Like I didn't cry as much to others. Like I was like that was very 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 few in between.
you also don't live in Hollywood, and you're not filming a TV show. If you were, you might be crying.
I don't it wouldn't be real though. I don't think.
Well, yeah, but it's Hollywood. Is anything real?
I think that it's, we talked about this last week about the whole and it wasn't on Beverly Hills, but it was about one OC when we were doing the reunion where we said,
Right.
people need to treat you differently when you're sober.
Right. We talked about it. Right.
And that's what I think might be adding to this. I can only imagine Dorit and having some issues with PK that were probably very legitimate and real when he was drinking. But I can only imagine like it takes two to grow the same way it takes two to sink. Like it's not just one person, right? And so like I think that I can definitely resonate with them around if you're not on the same page, especially when you get sober. And I've always thought about this, like being on a show. That's why I give Lala so much credit
Okay. Get to
because
the
she's in the
point.
public eye and like I'm not.
Yes.
So I didn't have to
Right.
like, yes, I let go of certain social like situations that I definitely like like grew to really know really well and rely on,
We
but I
just
didn't
lost
have
half our
public
audience.
scrutiny. But I didn't have any public scrutiny.
True, true. Okay, let's move on to your journey. And we'll have a separate podcast. We can talk about your journey.
This is like coming from you that doesn't know how to shut up. I find it hysterical. So what I'm saying is that I can see why PK, because some people may say it's weird that PK was the one that kind of like felt like the
Well, I thought
relationship
it
wasn't
was
good.
very contrived how she was so together. And this was the day they announced it. And she was like fine with it, like trying to explain herself to anyone and everyone. And yet it was PK who was the blubbering idiot, sort of.
Because he knows it's over.
Oh, I just thought it's because his emotions are so much
No,
more raw because they're not dead
no, they're
and
raw
not
because
dulled by the
he
liquor.
knows it's over.
So it's over in his head already.
I don't think he wants that.
Well, it doesn't matter what you want. Things
His feelings,
happen.
his heart, his emotions, like he learned to love Dorit in a way where he was numb from the hard times. And now when you have to face reality, you learn how people get through conflict. You learn how people treat you when they're wrong, when you're wrong.
So
There's all
did
these
he
things.
love her because he was drinking and he didn't see her for who she is? And then she became sober and he saw who she really is. And he's like, I don't really want that for the rest of my life. I can't be sober and deal with her.
I don't know. I mean, it could be
I
that.
don't either. I
It could
don't know.
also be that he doesn't want to deal with someone. I mean, imagine he made the change in his life. So, like for him, when he deals with conflict, he has a whole new way of dealing with conflict. She hasn't made any changes in her life. So, when
No.
there's a conflict, she's going to handle it the same way. And I think that like everyone makes mistakes. So, just getting sober doesn't mean that you don't mess up. And so, it's
Right.
like that's where I think the truth comes out, where it's like if he feels as if she is still like, speaking to him the way that she did when he was a wasted fool or when he was drunk, I can see how that is very detrimental to his recovery. And so it may not be that he's fallen out of love for her. He may feel like I can't be with her if I'm sober. Like
Yeah,
he
no,
doesn't
I
get it.
understand that. And do you think there's any aspect of this that's a storyline?
Maybe, but it's a
Well, I only asked that because we had to question Dorit's storyline with the puppy.
yeah,
We
I
had
just
to,
think that
we
it's a
had
pretty
to,
bold.
we had to, we had to question Dorit's storyline with the robbery.
Yeah,
So,
I mean this
we've
one is
had to,
easier
but
to
because
unmask.
we've had to question other storylines that Dorit has had, because she was so, um, um, PK, we've separated, like just matter of fact, that I had a question. I mean, she was far more upset about the robbery, of course, than she was about the divorce.
I just look at her as trying to deflect that she had anything to do with it, and it's all because PK's an alcoholic.
PK is well, that too. But I did watch all of her scenes and wonder if it was a storyline,
I don't think it's a
especially if he spends
storyline.
a lot of time in London, etc. It'd be easy. I'm just saying what I
I
threw
don't think
out
it's a
there.
storyline. I think it's inappropriate that she's telling his story when he's on the show.
Now, do you think it's weird that two men who are separated from their wives are being featured on the show in any capacity?
No.
Okay, all right, because I
No.
sort of did think it's weird. I also made the observation, and people will notice this in their real life if you pay attention. Divorce is contagious.
Well, yeah, because it gets people thinking like, "Ooh, is my marriage good? Like, shit, do I
Divorce
deserve
is
better?"
contagious.
Yeah, because
So,
people see
as you've
people.
seen,
Yeah,
Kyle and Mauricio separated. Then Dorit separated. Now Teddy Mellencamp has separated, all in Kyle's little group there. And I think it's a little contagious. I think it is contagious. If
I
you're
think there's
hanging
more of a
around with a
comparison
bunch,
between Kyle and Dorit. Teddy cheated on her husband,
yeah, but she's still getting divorced. It doesn't matter what she did
but
to
the
get there.
mindset of the contagious part you're saying, like Kyle didn't cheat on Mauricio, so like contagious would be like
Well,
if
remember
Teddy.
last season he said, at least it's you this time and not me. I mean, so I don't know what forget the cheating aspect of
But
it.
it's a part of it because I think no, I'm not saying that it's not still contagious. It is contagious. What I'm saying is
I
I
think
actually look at
divorce
Dorit.
is contagious.
I think
Divorce
that
is contagious.
Dorit and PK see they've seen together Kyle and Mauricio's journey of separation.
No,
And,
I think
and
that they just thought, oh, they got divorced. We can get divorced too. And then
maybe
I think it's contagious. I think the
so I don't know
women
if
start to
contagious is the
question.
right word. I think that it's something it is
Well,
contagious, but I also think
yeah,
it's if we want to make it more positive, I think for people that know that they're in a difficult situation and they're not in a good place with their significant other and they don't know how to move forward, it's empowering to see someone or even just another couple that isn't meant to be together confidently say in the public eye, we know we shouldn't be together. We need to get a divorce. And I think what it does is it lowers, there's a lot of
I think
stigma
it's
around divorce.
contagious. I think if you're in a group of friends, and everyone is married, I want everybody to mention it in the comments.
Yeah,
If
same.
if people are in a group and all of a sudden one person gets announces they're separated, first of all, they're not part of the group anymore. They
Okay.
aren't. They aren't.
Yeah.
I've had it happen in friends with friends. One of them gets
So you
separate.
don't think they should be on the show?
No, 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 no. I'm not
Oh,
talking about the show. I'm talking about Kyle separated, Dorit separated, now
okay. No,
Teddy
no, I know
separated.
that.
They're all in that group, and it's a little bit contagious. I'm just saying, you gotta. I've seen it happen in a circle of friends that there were five of us, and two got divorced.
See, what
And
I'm saying I disagree with is I don't think that it's contagious in the sense, like, I think that they've already decided they want to get divorced, but they're hiding it and they don't feel comfortable
yeah, and
saying
they
it.
don't come out until somebody else says
Yeah.
that they get divorced first. Somebody jumps off the plank, and then they all jump.
So
That's what
it's
I
more
think.
like copycat. It's more like, it's not even copycat. It's more like monkey see, monkey do than it is contagious. I feel like contagious would be like, oh, you don't think you and your husband are good? Well, maybe me and mine aren't good either. I should look
Yeah,
into
I think
that.
it's like that. No, I
No,
do
I don't
think
think
it's like
so.
that.
I
I
think they
do.
knew. I think that Dorit and PK have had problems for years. Kyle and Mauricio have had problems for years. Teddy and whatever his name is
Right.
have had problems for years. And I think that to a point where even maybe they didn't even know as couples how deep the problems were. Everything was kept behind closed doors. Everything was quiet. It's Beverly Hills. Everyone knows everything, right? So they
Right.
keep
No,
everything super quiet. And then when they see their friend who has a similar profile, what public, on a show, lots of followers, media following them, they're like, oh, well, if Kyle and Mauricio did it and it didn't ruin their kids' lives, then they're fine and they're still on the show and they still have money. I guess we can be more open about it too. I do think
yeah.
there's also like a, look at the attention Kyle got. Like, I think that's from Dorit's
No, I don't
end.
see it as attention. I see it that, oh, well, I mean, if Mauricio and Kyle can get divorced, well, then after 30 years, what's it for me to
Yeah,
get
well, I think it
divorced after
lowers the
10?
stigma.
Yeah,
It lowers
it
the
totally
stigma.
does. That's what I mean.
It'd be
Okay,
like if
now,
Courtney, Kim, and Chloe all needed to go see a therapist and Kim decided to go see one. Do you think Chloe and Courtney would be nervous to share that with the world after Kim did? No, they wouldn't be. She'd give
oh,
them permission to
I
do
haven't
it.
heard those names for a long
But I'm
time.
just saying, like, community
Now,
brings you support in the sense of like, if one person does it, then then the other person wants to do it and they can lean on that person. You don't feel like you're on your own.
now, Kathy Hilton is full on crazy.
She's a nut job.
The IV drip, the lip shield, the eye
That was
shields, the
performative.
hair was so performative.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, I did not understand how she could possibly allow them to come in and film her like that. But without a doubt, I put that was just a whole
She's nuts.
deliberate. It was all
Nuts.
deliberate. It was produced,
Totally.
etc. It was all produced. Now let's get to the party.
Okay. What do you think of Bose?
First of all, I want to say the whole party was a little satanic to
It
me.
was weird.
It
I didn't
was a
really get
little
it.
demonic, and it was a little bit Eyes Wide Shut. And if you've never seen Eyes Wide Shut, it was with Tom Cruise and what's her name?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You know, his wife before that's married to Keith Urban now. Yeah, you do. Help me with her name. She's married to Keith
Um,
Urban.
um, um,
Tall,
um,
tall, redhead,
yeah, yeah, I
beautiful
know what you're
in
talking about. Moulin
Moulin
Rouge.
Rouge.
Yeah. Um,
God, why can't I think of her name?
yeah, same. Well, it'll come to us.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is,
I
but
know
that means,
exactly who she is. She's married to Keith Urban. She was married to Tom Cruise. She has
yeah,
two kids that were adopted by Tom. I mean, I know her whole story. Nicole Kidman. I
Nicole
knew it would
Kidman.
come to
Oh,
me. I knew
yeah.
I just had to keep on talking about her two Scientology kids, her two kids with Keith Urban. There was a movie, Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, and the whole party reminded me of that. The
Okay.
masks, the whole thing. I thought it was a little bit too much. Um, Jen Fatili's a good addition because she's light and she's never gonna really be heavy.
Mm,
And the show needs some lightness because it's
okay.
pretty heavy. Erica Jane killed it. Her
Yeah,
outfit was by far the best. Now, the hating on Dorit, I don't quite understand. I thought her outfit was quite
I thought it looked like
interesting.
Saturn.
It did look like satin. Oh,
Yeah,
by
like
the
on her head.
way, um, Pluto just left wherever it was and it's now entered Aquarius. Pluto entered Aquarius, and we've officially entered the age of Aquarius.
That's nice. Where'd Goofy go?
Oh my God. Okay. Bose, I thought was pretty spectacular.
She is, but I'm nervous for her. You know what it is?
Oh, I'm very
She's
nervous for every new
no, no,
housewife.
I'm nervous.
Was
Well,
that fashion? or costume.
It was fashion. What I'll say
And
is
that's all
this.
I could think of as she walked in. It was kind of like Bronwyn on
Yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
first entrance. Is that a costume or is that fashion?
There's a couple ways this could go. She could be too buttoned up because of her professional, prestige. I mean, like when people say like this isn't embellished, we've seen the Housewives embellish things before. She truly is a boss. I mean, to
No,
be
totally.
the
Yeah, yeah.
CMO
Compared to
at
these other,
Netflix,
yeah,
and let's not forget this. This
and Uber, and that's
Netflix was
Uber, not
about
Uber.
15 to 20 years, or maybe 10, 15 years ago. Uber was about 10 years ago when she was in those roles.
I mean, Netflix started with you. You got a movie in the mail and you sent it back.
This is what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah,
like if you look at the times that she actually was in these positions, it's when they grew.
yeah.
So that's what you can.
I don't actually think she's retired. I think she got laid off from one of those jobs and they gave her a really sweet
Oh no,
pension.
no, she left her job. Like she did this. This was years ago. She wrote a book. She's been speaking. She's
Oh,
been
okay. So
doing other
she's
stuff.
doing other stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I did think that she is
She was getting
um
six figures before the Housewives for a speaking engagement.
oh, okay, that's to speak. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So she's fine. I did think
But so
Erica
no, so
killed
she
it.
might be too uptight, or because of the fact that she's not going back into a corporate role in any way, shape, or form, she might totally understand what she needs to do to keep her job because of the marketing background. So it could
Oh,
go
I
either.
think she's very aware of how to present herself, which is good. I like somebody who has self-awareness a little
Sometimes it can
bit.
get in the way though of being natural, and that's what I just hope she doesn't do.
Well, you know what though? The most natural thing anybody said the whole time is if my wig's coming off, I'm standing there with holding it on. That was the most insightful, normal thing that was said all night on this
That's
show.
true.
Yeah,
That is
all
true.
right. That she's not taking out her hair like
No,
full on crazy Kathy Hilton did.
totally.
Who would start pulling their hair out?
Exactly.
And then she says, I have to pull out my hair. I'm gonna have to take off my clothes.
Exactly. So what do you think about Kyle and Dorit? We can't be talking about the show all night.
Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. We didn't talk about Oliver. We didn't talk about
What's there to talk about
Sutton.
with Oliver?
We didn't talk about Sutton.
I've come to realize
We didn't
Garcelle's done
talk about
nothing on this show.
Avi. Huh?
I've realized Garcelle does nothing for this show. I love you, Garcelle. I think you're an incredible person and businesswoman, but I just don't see like what value you really add to the show.
Wow. I feel that way about Erica Jane.
You don't think she adds a lot these days? No, she doesn't.
Mm, no, she
She's
doesn't.
unique. She's
Right.
interesting. She's a great housewife, but she's not like a like I think Garcelle and I think Erica will always be on the cast of Beverly Hills as so long as they want to. But I don't look at them as anyone that's going to drive a storyline anymore.
No,
Erica
not
did
Erica.
because of the situation she
With
had.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. I am way over she who must not be named.
Lisa?
No, Morgan.
Oh,
I'm
Morgan.
not going to
Yeah.
say her name. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to say her name. So I'm calling her she who must not be named, like Voldemort in
But the
Harry
reason why she
Potter.
doesn't say her name is because I don't think she allows it anymore. I think her and Kyle had a big falling out.
Well, I'm not going to mention her name. I'm not going to, we're not going to talk about her. I mean, I'm over it, Kyle. I don't even care now if you did or didn't sleep with her, if you loved her or didn't love her, if you left Mauricio for her or didn't. I don't care anymore. I don't care. You have
I
milked
care.
Morgan Wade for as long as possible.
I don't think this is what I think sometimes you don't notice on these shows. She didn't talk about Morgan as much last year as everyone else did.
It doesn't matter. I'm over that storyline.
But
And
what
if
if she just was
these
close with Morgan and then everyone started talking about it? Is it her fault that it's a
just say
storyline?
what's wrong with you all? It just doesn't have to be coy. She's making it something.
I don't
You
think
know
Morgan
she
likes
is.
her name being talked about on TV.
She who must not be
I
named.
think Morgan probably wants to go date a real lesbian and wants to go out there and meet someone and doesn't want Kyle Richards to keep handicapping her from dating.
I agree. I totally agree. Now,
Because Morgan's secure in her sexuality. You could tell the whole season.
well, I do not think that Kyle Richards is secure,
No.
period.
Yeah, no, I know.
I
So
mean, and
obviously,
it's
yeah.
so strange to me because what was this, season 14 or so? She's been on every single season of Beverly Hills. You think she'd have some security in what she's doing, but she's still like living life on a tightrope,
They'll
afraid.
never, these women will never, they have real friends that are actually big time superstars off this show. And so they're constantly going to be insecure of how they're showing themselves on this show because they don't think that they are battling this. You're a reality star. You're a star. You're a reality star. You're a star. You're a reality star. You're a star. And I think that that just brings natural insecurity because imagine with Kyle, it's like, you'll never be Kris Jenner, Kyle. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you bring on this show. It doesn't matter how many
Agreed.
years you're on
Agreed.
it.
I think what this show, this episode highlighted is every single show this is happening now. Who said what on what podcast? Who said what on an interview? Who said what at
But it's
BravoCon?
good.
But yes and no, because a lot of the arguments that they're interacting with each other are not happening on the show, so we don't see them. You're seeing so and so talk on a podcast about you, and then you bring it back to the show, like we seen in Salt Lake and in New York with Jeff Lewis and the whole
Yeah.
bit. So we're seeing their interactions are being affected by things that happened outside of the show. So it's like they're having conflict at BravoCon, they're having conflict with
Yeah, but don't you think they have to
podcasts.
bring that to the show so that we can see the reality? Because I don't think
What
that
they
they're,
say something on Watch What Happens Live.
but I don't think
It's
that they are actually squashing this beef off camera. They want to squash it on camera or they want to address it on camera. So I'm at least happy that they're airing it because it's like if we
I
see
just think it's
something,
crazy that all of their extracurricular activities, so to speak, podcasts and Watch What Happens Live and
yeah,
BravoCon, etc., you bringing it into their show is conflict. Well, we didn't even see it. So I wish they'd stop that because all the shows are doing it. That's just
I
my
think it's real though, because like they shouldn't be hiding what's going on off camera from when they're on camera. This is supposed to be a reality show. So I want to see the reality. And so if those fights are happening off camera, I think it's appropriate to bring them on camera.
all right. Well, I would,
Maybe Bravo needs to do a better job giving some context.
yeah. Well, maybe that's it. I mean, fine. I'm all for
Don't you
disagreements.
follow all the, all the
Yeah,
alerts and
we
you're
do, but
yeah,
not everybody
I know,
does. You
totally.
know what I mean? So I think we're expecting too much of the audience to know what every single housewife is doing in the 9 months we don't see them.
Yeah, and with Dorit and Kyle, like I didn't see it as a massive big fight. I look at it as two
I
people
didn't
that want to
either. I
be
thought
right.
Kyle was totally reacting to Dorit.
Dorit too, though. Dorit was like,
They were both overreacting.
yeah, they're very much like Shannon and Tamra, where they're like, you hurt me, no, you hurt me, no, you
Yeah,
hurt me, no,
yeah,
you
that's
hurt
true.
me. And they can't
Okay.
find a solution. So who's
Oh,
your
before I
mess?
fall asleep, well, can I go with PK?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because
Mine is
he's a
gonna be
mess.
whoever did final cut of the episode because we didn't get to see enough of Avi as a slim figure.
Hey, well, I told you he lost weight. I saw him. He lost weight.
I hope he didn't lose his humor. He was way too bland this episode, so I hope we're waiting for like a nice reveal at Sutton's house, recapping the party, next episode or something.
And I do like Jennifer Tilly being around as a friend.
Yeah,
And I thought Bose
yeah,
or Boss.
it's Bose.
I know it's Bose, but she called him a boss.
She is a
Kathy.
boss, but I just hope they call her Bose. Yeah, no, it's great, and I think it seems like her and Dorit stayed friends, and they're friends now because she talked about her very
Oh,
kindly on Watch
good.
What Happens.
That's
So,
good to know. All right.
anywho, all right, follow,
Follow us,
subscribe,
everybody.
comment, love you.
Bye.
Bye.